The wooden spoon, finishing on the bottom of the ladder, the achievement that no club wants to get. But when was the most recent time each team won it, and have they had any success since? Let's get into it.
Absolutely, the Crows were robbed. Right in front of me. Right in front of me.
Adelaide have only found themselves at the bottom of the ladder once in their history, with that being in 2020. 2020 was a very disrupted season with shorter games and only 18 rounds. For wins and losses, Adelaide went 3-14. They sat at the bottom of the ladder from the end of round 3 until the end of the season. They went the first 14 rounds without a single win before getting 3 in a row in rounds 15, 16 and 17 against Hawthorn, GWS and Carlton respectively, then losing to eventual premiers Richmond in round 18. Since then, they have slowly been working their way up the ladder, only just missing out on finals this year.
I think I'm the number one fan because in 15 years I've only missed 3 games. I think I deserve to be number one fan.
The Brisbane Lions have won the wooden spoon twice since their inception in 1997, first in 1998 and then most recently in 2017. In 2017 they went 5-17 and sat at the bottom of the ladder from the end of round 7 all the way until the end of the year. After 2017 they very quickly shot back up and have made the finals every year since 2019 and have made the top 4 in 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2023. They also obviously played in a losing grand final this year as well.
It's an embarrassment for the navy blue and white, especially the emblem! The emblem! Play for that!
Carlton most recently won the wooden spoon in 2018 and have only won it 5 times in their 127 years in the competition. However, most impressively, Carlton only finished bottom of the ladder for the first time in 2002, meaning they went a full 105 years without even finishing bottom. Since 2018, Carlton has slowly worked their way back up the ladder, finishing 5th and making the preliminary final in 2023.
Go the mighty Magpies! Tonight is the night.
Collingwood have only won the wooden spoon twice in their long history in the VFL-AFL competition. Firstly in 1976 and then in 1999. Following 1999, Collingwood very quickly shot back up to make it to the grand final in both 2002 and 2003. However, they lost both games to Brisbane. Since then, they have played in 5 more grand finals, which includes the replay in 2010, and have won 2 premierships in 2010 and in 2023.
Get a big dog up, you Collingwood.
Similar to Carlton, Essendon have won 5 wooden spoons, and also similar to Carlton, Essendon had a very long wooden spoon drought from 1933 to 2016, 83 years in total. 2016 is still Essendon's most recent wooden spoon. Their 2016 performance can mostly be attributed to their 12 listed players who were ineligible to play due to a suspension by the World Anti-Doping Agency following the 2012 supplement saga. Essendon recovered as they made the finals again the very next year, although they naturally failed to win a final, losing to Sydney in the elimination final by 65 points.
Rio!
Fremantle have only won the wooden spoon once in their 29-year history, in 2001. They made the finals again 2 years later in 2003 and have since played in one grand final, which was their only grand final, in 2013, which they lost to Hawthorn by 15 points.
Look, but they've been a fantastic team for 4 years. You just have to love them.
Geelong are the team with the longest active wooden spoon drought, having not finished on the bottom of the ladder for 66 years, meaning they last won the wooden spoon in 1958. Like Carlton and Essendon, they have won it 5 times in their history. Since 1958, Geelong have played in 12 grand finals and won 5 premierships. However, interestingly, in this period, they have also had a 44-year premiership drought, as they went from 1963 to 2007 without winning the premiership, meaning Geelong spent that period without winning any wooden spoons or premierships. Gold Coast have won the wooden spoon twice in their 13 years in the league, in 2011 and 2019. Since 2019, they have not managed to place any higher than 12th. Interestingly, in 2019, Gold Coast won 3 of their first 4 games, only losing round 1 by 1 point, but then didn't win another game for the rest of the season, finishing 3-19. The Gold Coast Suns have also never made the finals. GWS have also won the wooden spoon twice, however they've had much more success since. They won back-to-back wooden spoons in their first 2 years in the AFL, 2012 and 2013, and have since climbed their way up the ladder to make the final 6 times, including 4 preliminary final appearances and 1 grand final appearance. However, they are still yet to win a premiership.
You dogs! It's on! It's on, I got the same.
Hawthorn have the second longest wooden spoon drought, only 7 years behind Geelong, with their most recent wooden spoon being in 1965. However, they also have the equal 4th most wooden spoons ever of any club, with 11 total. This is because in Hawthorn's early years in the competition, they struggled to compete, not even making the finals until their 33rd year in the VFL. Most impressively though, since their most recent wooden spoon in 1965, Hawthorn have won 12 premierships, a number which far exceeds any other team, with the closest being Geelong, who have won 5 premierships since their most recent wooden spoon in 1958. An impressive feat from the mighty Fighting Hawks indeed. The last time Melbourne finished on the bottom of the ladder was 2009. They are the team with the 3rd most wooden spoons with a total of 12. Following 2009, it took Melbourne quite a while to break back into the 8, only making finals for the first time again in 2018 before dropping back out in 2019 and 2020. They finally put an end to their premiership drought though in 2021 in an annihilation of the Western Bulldogs from the 3rd quarter onwards at Optus Stadium. And despite going out in straight sets in both 2022 and 2023, Melbourne still look to be in fairly good form now and could win the premiership again sometime soon.
Kanga!
Roo, roo, roo.
Kanga!
Roo.
North Melbourne are the team with the 2nd most wooden spoons of all time with 15 total. Their most recent came only last year in 2022 and before that in 2021. However, things didn't fare too well for the Kangaroos this year either, as they still barely managed to scrape through and only just beat out West Coast in the final round to finish 2nd bottom rather than their 3rd consecutive wooden spoon. However, with Clarko behind the wheel, the future could be a brighter one for the Kangaroos.
Oh, yes, stop it!
So as you can see, guys, a few nerves, lots of confidence, and an unbelievable sight. The Teal is marching on the MCG, and they're coming your way.
Port Adelaide have the smallest number of wooden spoons ever, with a grand total of 0. Since joining the league in 1997, they have never won the wooden spoon, and they have won 1 premiership from their 2 grand final appearances. The closest they have ever come to winning the wooden spoon was in 2011 when they finished 2nd bottom, only beaten out by the new expansion team Gold Coast in their opening season.
And I've just put them in the microwave.
They're out of
Enough
business.
of this rubbish.
Richmond most recently finished bottom of the ladder in 2007 when they won 3 games, lost 18 and drew 1. They have won the wooden spoon a total of 7 times in their history. Following their 2007 season, Richmond have had some significant success, winning 3 premierships in 2017, 2019 and 2020. However, the Tigers' reign seems to have come to an end following a disappointing season in 2023.
You ugly turd! You're not good enough, you scurvy dog!
Good old St Kilda. St Kilda have finished bottom of the ladder by far the most times out of any team, doing so a total of 27 times, almost doubling 2nd place. Their very high wooden spoon count can mostly be attributed to being a struggling side for a lot of the VFL's early history. They finished bottom of the ladder for 6 years in a row in the competition's first 6 years. In more recent history, they have improved, only winning the wooden spoon twice in the AFL era, with their most recent time being in 2014. After 2014, St Kilda have only made the top 8 twice, but haven't progressed any further than the semi-finals on either occasion. Sydney's most recent wooden spoon was in 1994, and their 2nd and 3rd most recent were in 1993 and 1992. They have 11 in total, tied with Hawthorn. Following their 1994 wooden spoon, Sydney very quickly shot back up to be the minor premiers only 2 years later in 1996 and broke their 51-year drought of not winning a final. They made the grand final in 1996, but then lost to North. Since 1994, Sydney have made the grand final a total of 7 times. Of these 7 appearances, they have won 2 premierships in 2005 and 2012, the former of which was the premiership that broke their 72-year premiership drought. As you probably already know, West Coast's most recent wooden spoon was this year, in 2023, 5 years after their 2018 premiership. Quite similar to their only other wooden spoon in 2010, which was 4 years after their 2006 premiership. After a very disappointing season in 2023, a rebuild of the team looks essential in order to move back up the ladder, as their ageing talent seems to no longer be doing the job for them. Interestingly, in their 99 years in the VFL-AFL competition, the Bulldogs have only finished on the bottom of the ladder 4 times, but they have also only made the grand final 4 times. So looking at it like that, the Bulldogs seem to be consistently middling. Their most recent time finishing on the bottom of the ladder was in 2003. They rose back up to make a few preliminary finals in a row in the late 2000s, but they finally put an end to their 62-year premiership drought in 2016, when they finished 7th in the home and away season, but then went on to win 4 finals and win the flag. They also made the grand final in 2021, which they lost to Melbourne. The Bulldogs still have a very good list that could be capable of anything, but they still can't seem to progress past mediocrity. That's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. A slightly different video to what I usually post. But I hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you very much.